Soundstripe. 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 Soundstripe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Shady David D. LaFleur, and this is the Lair of LaFleur. I see that you made it. Thank you all for joining me here this week in the Lair. Yes, this week's episode is about the Sun Simulator, but is it real? Before I go any further, I have to stop and give a big shout out to you, the viewers, because we are growing and gaining more subscribers right here on the LaFleur Network. And that's all because of you. Thank you so much for making it possible. It really is appreciated. It means a lot. So thank you. Now, I do discover and discuss all kind of topics here in the Lair, and YouTube does not like this kind of content. So it's going to take you, the viewers, to promote this channel and push it forward. I'm not here to push any kind of disinformation because we are living in crazy times here in 2025. So please be aware of all the scare tactics, the mass confusion, the military demonstrations, along with the governmental psyops being played out in real time more than ever before. And please be aware of the next false flag attempt or scandemic, because it's probably right around the corner. And never believe the official narrative, especially from the mainstream media, because they have their own narratives and agendas of their own that they're trying to push and shove down each one of our throats. And that's why I do my part right here in the Lair to inform you of these things. And yes, I do start this show off the same because you never know who is right here checking it out for the first time. But remember, guys, this is only for your entertainment purposes. And I have a cheap plug I must fill you in with right now. And yes, this is the Era of LaFleur, and this is my personal invitation for you to come check out some Kingpins bowling right here on the LaFleur Network. Come show your support as the Summer League is already underway. That's live bowling right here on the LaFleur Network Thursday nights. As I smack you with this right here, if this is your first time checking the show, thank you for being here, because I do discover and discuss all kind of myths, conspiracy theories, legends, world stage events, actors of the world stage. Who are these actors that play the part on the world stage? Topics like aliens and NASA. Did we really go to the moon? What about flat Earth? Are you a flat earther? Or do you believe we live in a ball spinning around at incredible speeds? Or maybe it's CGI balls that you're into? Or convinced by AI videos? Or are we all just trapped here in the Matrix? Because what is this magical, beautiful realm? Don't wait, there's more like murder mysteries, Bigfoot, SpaceX, AI. Will AI create the next reset? What about ghost and phenomenon? Because we have our own ghostly phenomenon here in the Lair that brings you the official narrative of what we are discussing here today. Now, this is the part where I tell you to grab all the survivor gear, the rations, the flashlights, the batteries, and the bottled water, because we want you to be prepared when you enter the Lair of LaFleur. Now, this is my opinion. You do the research, you be the judge. Don't let confirmation bias box you in. And once again, if this is your first time checking out the Lair, thank you for being here. We're going to give it over to the ghost of the Lair that's going to bring you the official narrative of what we are discussing today.
Excuse me, where's Mr. Epstein?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
What is the official narrative on the Sun Simulator? A solar simulator, also known as a sun simulator, is a device that replicates the characteristics of sunlight that controlled laboratory environment. It provides a consistent and adjusted light source for testing various materials and processes, particularly those sensitive to light like solar cells. These simulators are used to research and develop quality control and standardized processes against different fields. What do you think about these so-called sun simulators? Obviously, they are real.
Every month, some months are more than others, but this particular one here I found interesting. I did find several people reporting seeing chevrons, but this one here I wanted to share because this gentleman here reported seeing a fast-moving, what he calls a black star-shaped object transiting the moon at 144 times magnification as he was viewing the moon through his telescope. And I think he had a camera on it as well. I don't think he got a picture, it just went through really fast as he was looking at the moon. But here's the thing, he drew a sketch of what he saw, and that's what he saw. Not only did he see it once, and this was on November 30th, less than 10 days ago, he's seen this phenomenon twice. And that resembles, even though it's missing one point, that resembles a chevron or a honeycomb. This same guy has seen it 2 times in less than a year. He says, as a point of interest, this is actually the second of these objects that I have seen while observing the moon. The earlier observation took place on June 23rd, 2016. And there is a report on file here at Newforce, and he reported the same phenomenon. So I found that interesting. There were other people that reported seeing like triangles and chevrons, but this was the closest I could find to something that kind of matched this description of whatever this thing here is. And again, this photo was taken by Jonathan at the Crazy Horse Monument in South Dakota, August 8th, 2017. He did not see this object. He just noticed it in the photographs after the fact. It does look like it may be moving. If it was moving, it was probably moving at a very high rate of speed. Probably wasn't meant to be seen, obviously. But it does look like if it is something that is an unidentified aerial phenomenon, looks very sophisticated, whatever it is, I don't know. But it's definitely not your typical lens flare, that's for sure. Those are typically round and very obvious. You know those when you see them, but this is definitely not your typical lens flare, that's for sure. So I found that interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. John.
Yes, here on the LaFlare Network News, several states did get hit with major rains and flooding, and we're going to bring you this crazy footage right now. Yes, several states, Texas, New Mexico, wild scenery. Now our hearts and our prayers go out to each and every one of these people that's involved with this tragedy. Now, is all this damage done naturally? Or could this be results of cloud seeding? Yes. Crazy scene. Now let's check out this next footage I'm going to bring to you guys right now.
Augustus DeRico. I'm the CEO and founder of Rainmaker. We're a cloud seeding company that is enhancing precipitation via advanced radar and also drones for the sake of supplementing water supplies for farms, cities, reservoirs, and wildlife throughout the United States. Our ultimate vision is to end water scarcity, and we've begun that mission already. I'm testifying to not oppose the spirit of this bill, which I think is well-founded, but the current configuration of the bill that I think would impede this mission for ending water scarcity and also for bringing the best-in-class technology to Florida and the rest of the United States. And so the first point that I'd like to make is the difference between solar radiation management and cloud seeding. And so Senator Garcia did bring this up briefly. Solar radiation management is a very new technology. It's not something that's been tested at length. NOAA has done some very initial experiments on its efficacy. It is attempting to reduce the amount of solar radiation that makes it down to the planet by injecting reflective aerosols into the upper atmosphere. Once you inject these aerosols, they stay in the stratosphere for years. They have effects on the entire climate. The data from these experiments, because the experiments have been so few, is limited. And so the implications of them are not something that are well tested yet. Cloud seeding is altogether different. The only similarity is that it has to do with the atmosphere. It has to do with the low atmosphere. It's a mechanism, or it's a tool that either freezes the water in existing clouds or condenses the droplets in existing clouds into bigger snowflakes or bigger droplets such that they fall onto your target watershed or farm. It's a technology that has existed for 80 years in the United States. It was patented by GE in 1946. But it hasn't been viable for a long time because we didn't have the appropriate radar to measure exactly what its effect is. I can tell you definitively that there is not cloud seeding going on in the state of Florida because you would be able to see its effect on radar. So the National Center for Atmospheric Research produced some great results from what's called the SNOWY campaign, where they were able to verify cloud seeding's effect, and they saw tens of millions of gallons of precipitation occur from each of their interventions. And that was very, very easily distinguishable on radar. It also is worth saying that it's local in its scope, and it is very short temporally. So if ever there is cloud seeding going on and you don't like the consequences of it, there are unintended consequences, and it's quite well characterized, so the unintended consequences are minimal. You can stop whenever you like. So that point of differentiation between solar radiation management, which is something that I think the public should scrutinize more heavily, and cloud seeding, is important to make from the top. Then the second point I'd like to make is that, well, it has to do with the safety of cloud seeding, right? Because this has to do with environmental health, particularly pollution. Cloud seeding is conventionally done with a chemical called silver iodide. Its LD50, so its lethal dose, is 10 times higher than aspirin. And we're using about 50 grams per each operation. That's as much as can fit in the palm of your hand, right? That's less flour than is in a slice of bread. So the amount that accumulates into watersheds is in the parts per trillion after decades of operation, and we have data to prove that from programs that exist throughout the United States. This leads me into another point, which is the precedent that other states have set in cloud seeding permitting and licensing. So I think that, per what I said at the top of my commentary, the spirit of this bill to protect Floridians, to protect Americans from environmental pollution, that is great. And I think that permitting and licensing absolutely should exist. It does exist in states like Texas and Utah and Idaho. So this isn't a blue state or red state issue. California has a process as well. New Mexico has a process. And we don't want anybody wantonly modifying the weather. So implementing a permitting regime so that it's only done responsibly and safely with best-in-class meteorological practices, that makes sense. And we advocate for that. Not only do we advocate for that, we, Rainmaker Technology Corporation, has engineers in all of those states that I mentioned that are actively modifying the weather, that are actively enhancing precipitation for farmers and reservoirs and cities that are undergoing drought. And that brings me into like my third and closing point. Like, what is this bill about? What are we voting on here? Yes, this has to do with Florida, first and foremost. I don't think that burdening the state with more regulation, with more permitting on investigation is something that it would necessarily be excited about, but if it was for the sake of protecting Floridians, that makes sense. I don't think that we want to prevent Florida's access to best-in-class technology for their agriculture and their water and their wildlife, but more than that, it has to do with the United States, both domestically and abroad. No ifs, ands, or buts. Mar-a-Lago exists here. Florida is a very consequential state within the United States, and if weather modification is banned here, that sets a precedent to deprive farmers in even more arid regions of the country from getting access to water from cloud seeding. And so if only for the sake of other Americans, for other farming interests, for other cities like Salt Lake, which is currently radically under budget for their water supply, and people are getting respiratory issues from the dust kicked up from the evaporation, cloud seeding could mitigate that. If this precedent is set here, it could affect other Americans. And not only could it affect us immediately within the United States, but long term it could affect us geopolitically, because China has a $300 million annual budget for weather modification research and operations. And if we are to ban this here, if that precedent is set throughout the rest of the United States and perhaps federally, then we will lose control over the weather to China.
Actually artificial. Let me give you a breakdown before I explain what you're witnessing so you have a better understanding. The main light source is a xenon arc lamp, complemented by 16 LED lights, UV lights, and infrared. These light sources are directed by a series of specially chosen lenses, mirrors, and reflectors, all housed in a special framework. This setup acts like a camera lens, controlling how light escapes to mimic sunlight. Think of it like a rainbow forming when sunlight passes through a window. The light splits into its colors or wavelengths. This artificial sun takes it a step further, with mirrors finely adjusting each color's brightness, just like how photographers use different camera settings. Finally, this not so carefully crafted light is projected as an image of the disk shape onto the sky, resembling our sun. It's similar to using a convex lens to focus light from an object to create a clear image on a surface. This complete system allows the artificial sun to light up the sky, just like a lamp would do.
Could this all be real?
Scientists in China just set a new fusion world record with their artificial sun. China's experimental advanced superconducting tokamak maintained a fusion plasma for a record-breaking 1,066 seconds, while also reaching temperatures of up to 100 million degrees Celsius, about 10 times hotter than the center of the sun. On Earth, we don't have the extreme pressures to drive particles together to achieve fusion. Instead, we make up for it by using temperatures that are even hotter to get particles moving fast enough to overcome the repulsive force between them. Tokamaks, like East, use magnetic fields to levitate the plasma in the center of the reactor. Building a system that can keep the magnetic field perfectly balanced and the plasma stable while resisting these incredible temperatures is kind of hard to do. So, more than doubling the plasma lifetime in less than a year is exciting progress for all fusion lovers worldwide. Finally giving Taylor Swift a break from being the shining light in all of our lives and allowing us to finally bottle a star. Probably for
have a thing called heliotropism. They face the sun and curve their face towards the sun every day, all day, every hour, to absorb the sun. Can you see there? Yeah, I don't know what's causing that, but I'm inclined to say that the very people that took down my videos also might be responsible for this.
Right now, I'm using a welding mask.
Okay.
What is happening right now? I'm just putting my phone on the welding mask, so I don't know if it's like electromagnetic energy coming at us right now, being pulsed.
Researchers have been busy running tests at the Experiential Advanced Superconducting Tokamak, East, a nuclear fusion reactor facility, to make its auxiliary heating system more hot and durable, Xinhua News Agency reported. The facility is called an artificial sun because it mimics the nuclear fusion reaction that powers the real sun, which uses hydrogen and deuterium gases as fuel. Designed and developed by the Chinese, the East has been used since 2006 by scientists from all around the world to conduct fusion-related experiments. But the project has just hit an important milestone. Researchers managed to run the artificial sun at 70 million degrees for as long as 1,056 seconds, or 17 minutes, 36 seconds, South China Morning Post reports. The real sun hits temperatures of around 15 million degrees at its core.
Let's take a look at this image right here, because you will never actually see this image with your own eyes. You have to believe this imagery like it's your second religion. You have to, because it's not real. This does not exist. This only exists through NASA and CGI. So take it as it is. Just like some of you, I thought this image that you're seeing was real. Obviously, the indoctrination starts really young. And I don't know what to tell you. I believe this whole story that you see on your screen. But this is all it is. Image on your screen. What's next is this, we're going to look at this Kuiper Belt. Because the next thing they want you to do is think that something from out here is going to come impact that little blue ball that you see right there. Now, I don't believe in that hypothetical theory either. No, I do not. We'll get into more of that here in a minute. What is your earliest memories of school? Because this right here that you're seeing, this was mine. And I pull this up because this was the very first time I went to school and I walked in that classroom. I seen the desk, I seen the chairs, I seen that green chalkboard, and of course we see that blue ball sitting on the teacher's desk. So it's implanted there as soon as you walk into your government. I'm sure it's probably just more than just all your government. Every school starts young. Let's check out this famous image from an asteroid impact. Rather, it's a comet or whatever, meteorite, whatever these supposed impacts are from. I'm going to call shenanigans on that. Because obviously they're not going to create a farm in the earth like that. They're going to come at a different, it's going to look different. It's going to be buried in, you're going to be buried in more sideways. Just, that looks like a dried up lake bed. It could be several things. Who really knows? But the official narrative is these meteorites, these asteroids are very valuable. So let's everybody get rich. Go out here and search and get this material, and we'll all get rich. Because that's what the official narrative is, right? Yes, more images. Let's keep you scared by these little balls of rocks floating around the outside edge of the solar system. That way they can create panic anytime they want. Maybe even the next reset can come from one of these, what you're going to think is because I'm telling you, there's no, what you think are meteorites, comets, things of that nature blasting into Earth. Obviously, they don't hit the Earth with that kind of impact as you are taught. Let's show those images.
Time. I don't know if that means MC Hammer or what kind of hammer, MC Hammer.
Make sure I heard this right first.
Okay.
So I watch Jake, right? I think he makes good content and gets more views than, if you haven't noticed, I bet with that guy for 10,000 and your channel for biggest dick. Is that true? You really did that?
Yep.
I don't find it all impressive that you pick on a guy almost a foot shorter than you, probably 67 pounds lighter. Like, I'm not impressed, sorry. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? I just don't find it all impressive that you pick on a guy almost a foot shorter than you, probably 67 pounds lighter. Like, I'm not impressed, sorry.
So I don't need the headache. And if you are that big, Mr. Oh, geez, now I get it. Hammer time. Okay, I get a nice one, Hammer.
Yeah, okay, guy. My girl would never call you.
Like on what, Zoom?
Whatever you want. 1,000, me with you. When you look where I'm not showing you my kick. Nice try, bitch.
Yeah.
and congratulations for our new segment of the show here in the Layer of the Flare, the Shield Club of the Month. This month's Shield is none other than Dave Weiss. Yes, this fake phony scammer is the co-founder of the AE map, also Darren's boss. He also has a famous tracking device. Do not download this app, and my advice to you, if you have already downloaded this thing, please immediately delete it. What a piece of shit.
David Weiss, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole Exposed. David Weiss loves to watch women get beaten, and he loves to crack jokes while women get beaten. Have a look.
All right, NFL, ex-NFL running back, I believe he last played.
Wait,
in the
where are
NFL.
you? What are you showing? I only see this Zach thing. There you go.
Okay, NFL running back, Zach Stacy.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Dave, look at the fucking...
I see it.
Oh, jeez.
He's
That poor television.
He's teaching her how to do be a linebacker.
And the cat.
Ooh.
The cat's all disgruntled.
You notice the cat didn't go pee on her.
Well, maybe just wait.
Doesn't have to do Corona.
She's supposed to be pregnant right now.
What's he doing?
Rubbing her face. Is that
I thought he
lime?
grabbed a knife.
Is he gonna squeeze a lime in her face? That's what I'm beginning.
Look at those kicking shoes.
All right, NFL, ex-NFL running back, I believe he last played.
Wait,
in the
where are
NFL.
you? What are you showing? I only see this Zach thing. There you go.
Okay, NFL running back, Zach Stacy.
I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Dave, look at the fucking...
I see it.
Oh, jeez.
He's
That poor television.
He's teaching her how to do be a linebacker.
And the cat.
Ooh.
The cat's all disgruntled.
You notice the cat didn't go pee on her.
Well, maybe just wait.
Doesn't have to do Corona.
She's supposed to be pregnant right now.
What's he doing?
Rubbing her face. Is that
I thought he
lime?
grabbed a knife.
Is he gonna squeeze a lime in her face? That's what I'm beginning.
Look at those kicking shoes.
Yes, folks, that is David Weiss deep inside the rabbit hole, watching a woman get beaten savagely by a giant black man, and he finds it so hilarious he has to crack jokes and smile like an evil scumbag the entire time. David Weiss, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not fabricating a story. You can go watch this on the Baby Truther Show number 29. It goes on for about 10 minutes. They watch the woman get savagely beaten and make jokes for a good 10 straight minutes. David Weiss is seen grinning most of the time, cracking jokes. Now imagine if this was your mother. Imagine if this was your sister. Imagine if this was your daughter. Now, do you think it's funny to watch, let's say, your daughter get picked up by a giant black man and thrown into a TV and then savagely beaten, and then you have a fella like David Weiss grinning and making jokes? Just imagine this is your mother getting picked up and thrown by a giant black man, and David Weiss is laughing and joking. Poor TV. I find this to be highly, highly disturbing that anyone is still left following this man. I find it highly disturbing anyone would download his tracking app.
Our app just went next level. You're now able to find Flat Earth app users near you. See where they are and send them an instant message in the app. Instantly arrange for a Flat Earther meetup. When activated, blue dots mark the location of the app users near you. You have 3 choices on showing your location. PP, to pinpoint. This marks your exact location. CC, for city center, which will place you within a few miles of your current location. Or turn off, which removes you from the map altogether.
His Flat Earth tracking app, which is not only a debunked AE map, but it keeps track of flat earthers. You know, a little blue dot on the map, so he can tell where you are and what you're doing. If you have ever downloaded any application by Mr. David Weiss deep inside the rabbit hole, I highly suggest you delete it and get rid of your phone as well. But that is just some of my own personal advice. You don't have to take it. Do with that what you will. Now, I wish this was all that David does, but no, he also likes to stick up for sex offenders, convicted rapists, such as Authentic Intent Joshua Swift. It seems that David Weiss thinks that a 35-year-old man graping a 14-year-old is perfectly acceptable. In fact, David Weiss shames the victim, a 14-year-old girl who was graped by a 35-year-old man, Joshua Swift, Authentic Intent.
So here's David Weiss on Facebook. That whole thing about Josh is pointless. The girl lied and said she was 18. As soon as he found out, you mean after their 6-month relationship? Said, okay, so David, what if the girl was 14? Actually, she was 14. What if the 14-year-old girl said, I'm 19, can you get me some cigarettes? And he did. And then Josh had a record. Would you say, oh, that's pointless, the girl lied? Now, this was the guy who was just on Alex Jones. And it looks to me like the cult has decided that if it has to, it will sacrifice a 14-year-old girl to preserve its own integrity.
You can see David Weiss speaking at these conferences. You can see Jaron speaking at these conferences. You can see Mark Sargent speaking at these conferences. They couldn't find it within themselves to distance themselves from a child predator, so they welcomed with open arms a child predator known as Authentic Intent and gave him a spotlight at the 2018 Flat Earth Conference in Denver. So they all welcome a child predator in with open arms. So let's go over what we've learned today. David Weiss is a cult leader who has a tracking app to keep track of his cult. He loves to watch women get beaten and make jokes. Oh, and he also loves supporting and protecting convicted sex offenders. So, is this someone you want to watch? Is this someone you want to support? Let me know in the comments section below what you think of David Weiss. So until...
So what do you think about this sun simulator theory? Alright, that's all I have for you guys here today. And I really hope you enjoy the show because we are heading into a crazy future. And I'm going to be closing out now. And I hope you come to some point in your life, you have your own personal awakening, and you try to find out what this beautiful, magical realm really is. And please do me a couple of favors on our way out. Go check out QMV. He's got all the maps like the AE map, the Globe Debunks, the Roast of the Shields. So hilarious. And the #1 Truther entertainment channel here on YouTube is Jake the Asshole with Truthers Tuesday Live. Go check out these channels because any interaction really does help these channels grow. And come back here Sundays for a new episode of the Lair of a Flare. Thank you guys. Peace out. Much love.
Bonus feature. Let's check out these military micro drones. Did you know these military micro drones has the ability to fly into your homes, chill, and record everything that you do? What do you think about these little drones?